Okay, so let's start this without a waste of time. Peace, love, and light to my brothers and sisters, kings and queens around the globe. I go by the name of Yan Ban Yahuda, also known as Akili Negus. You know, I'm here to address and rectify the misnomer around the N-word. And this presentation is called From Nature and Nagas to Niggers. So after watching, many videos and reading numerous posts and having long discussion and debates around the use of the N-word, the universal understanding and agreement surrounding this topic is that we shouldn't use it as so-called black people, as so-called Africans, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Nubians, Kemites, and so on. We shouldn't condone the use of the word, and it should only be quote unquote used when referring to historical events or historical occurrence. With that being said, however, the main argument made by many brothers and sisters is that we should, us as so-called people, shouldn't use other words like negus, which sounds very similar to nigger, according to them, which is wrong, and I will prove that later on in my presentation. According to them, they are not Ethiopian royalty, for one. For two, they do not live in Ethiopia. And finally, they believe the fact that some of us choose to use the word negus is a clear sign that we are deeply programmed by calling ourselves niggers or niggers, which couldn't be far away from the truth, but to some extent. So yeah, I begin a presentation with ancient Kemite origin of the N-word. In the Medunetcha, pronounce Medunetcha. But bear in mind, there's no J in no ancient Afrikaans languages. Matter of fact, in any languages of antiquity, there's no J. So so I guess the correct definition or translation would be Medunetcha or Medunetcha. Which is translated as divine speech or word, God's speech or words, and is the sources or the reference where I got that from. Necha means God in Medunetcha, aka ancient Egyptian. I believe in the middle here in this picture is Osar, or wrongly known as Osiris, and on his right, which is my left, is Heru, and this on his right, or his left, should I say, is Aset, or some people say Oset. So we have the Amaras, also known Abyssinians, origin of the N-word. We have the word negus, which is often mispronounced by a lot of brothers and sisters into niggers or niggers, which is totally wrong. It's pronounced negus. It's a title of Abyssinia, which means king, basically, and and it comes from Aramaic negush, which itself comes from Nagash or Nagasha, enforced, ruled. And the picture right here is a depiction of the Queen of England when she was a bit younger, a lot younger, Elizabeth, bowing down to Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. A powerful picture which is often hidden and never spoken about. And again, whilst doing my research, I stumbled across this very interesting and powerful information which is the N word in Hebrew, although it doesn't have the same definition, but the fact that we have literally almost the same word as seen up here in our Amharic, we have Nagash or Nagasha, and in Hebrew we have the same word Nagash, which means to draw near, approach, to come near, to approach one another. Well, bear in mind that Amharic is Afro-Asiatic language and Shemitic as well, so it is related to Hebrew. So this correlation of the words and connection is not a surprise really, but it is to some extent as well. So straight away we're going to go into the origin of Indo-European languages, which is very crucial and the main point of this presentation. So while the Aryans were in India, they became absorbed into the black population of Dravidians and Negritos, and anyone who looks at the population of northern India, and that's a fact, so there you will see Persian appearance among the people there, and a more Negroid or African appearance among the people in the southern part, especially in southeast of India. People tend to be more darker in that place, tend to have more curly or woolly hair, or sometimes wrongly called kinky hair as well. And then little quote at the bottom. In fact, scientists from India have already established that in every genetic aspect, these Indians in southern India are almost identical to blacks in Africa, so-called black people in Africa. So so these so-called Africoids are among those responsible for the creation of India's Indus Valley civilization. So the proper name of the region mentioned here is Hindu-Kush. So there are numerous sources that claim otherwise and so on and so forth, but we know for the fact there is a clear correlation and connection between Hindu-Kush or Hindu-Kish with the kingdom of Kush, being that ethnically speaking were the same people. And this is also visible in the Bible, where it speaks about Kush and where it reside. Kush being a son of Ham. So he had kingdoms or territories in Eastern Africa, and also in Arabia, and also in Asia Minor, and this will be revealed also as we go along. So these Aryans, they learn various arts and crafts from the Aboriginal blacks of India. Here's the source where you can research this and look this up. So if we come to the word Naga, which is pretty popular now amongst numerous people and circles. So the Naga, according to the etymology of the word, is a Hindu mythology race of serpent demons, offspring of Kaduru, guardians of on the regions. 1785 from Sanskrit, Naga, serpent, snake of unknown origin. But once again, I'm going to prove that it's not that true. That it's unknown of origin. They know very well. So after doing some research on the Sanskrit, I came across this bit here. Sanskrit belonged to the Indo-European family of languages. It is one of the three ancient documented languages that likely arose from a common root language now referred to as the Proto-Indo-European language. So once again, there are basically three main Sanskrit, which is the Vedic Sanskrit 1500 to 500 BCE, the Messenian Greek 1450 BCE, and the ancient Greek 750 to 400 BCE. But here is the bombshell. The biggest and most vital revelation is that there is also the Hittite Sanskrit, which is apparently dated 1750 to 1200 BCE. This is the earliest recorded of Old Indo-European languages distinguishable into Old Hittite, Middle Hittite, and Neo-Hittite. It is a divergent from other, likely due to its early separation. So yeah, so here we have the Hittite Sanskrit, which is the oldest according to scholars and historians of all Indo-European languages found in the region. It was discovered on clay tablets of central Turkey in cuneiform script. It possesses some likely archaic features found only fragmentarily, if at all, in other languages. So why is it so significant and important? Here's why. Oh yeah, so the picture behind is what historians and scholars say Hittites look like. Maybe I should have had a better visual, but hopefully this is clear enough, and you can do your own research as well and find more images of what it looked like, and so on and so forth. And you can see from the texture of the hair, facial features, that these people, will know what Western society law want to claim, let's say. So so Hittites were Canaanites in origin and not Indo-Europeans. Once again, Hittite is found in the Bible, as are shown here. In a Strong's Hebrew 2850. It tells you right here in green, the second son, Hittite was the second son of Canaan, once inhabitant of central Anatolia, modern Turkey. So right there lets you know. And so the previous reference only had one thing right, which is Hittites did in fact dwell in the Turkish regions and Asia Minor, which explained why Hittite Sanskrit were found in those regions. However, Hittites were descendants of Canaan, who himself was the son of Ham, the father of four major African civilizations: ancient Kemet, ancient Kush, kingdom of Phut or Punt, and Canaanites. This is very significant now. So now we just establish directly that the oldest Sanskrit, right, which the word Naga came from, is in fact of African Canaanite origin. This is very, very significant. So now we're going to the Igbo origin of the N-word. Here's a reference, or ancient is a reference right here. You can look it up. The ancient Igbo Egyptian also used the NGR, pronounced Enger. Once again, that's just for pronunciation's sake. There's no J in any ancient African languages to describe themselves, God and nature. The etymological root of Enger can be found in Igbo language translation. The Enger was taken from the Medjugorje, aka taken from the method that omit the vowels in Nga or Rigi, which means place of God. However, because of the Romans and later English, Europeans in general couldn't pronounce Enger. They wrongly translated it and inserted or added vowels to Enger, which resulted in the name Niger or Neger. Again, very significant. Very, very significant. So here's more proof that Indo-European languages were and are greatly influenced by African languages and not the other way around. So here we go. Greek, Latin, German, and even English derives from Indo-European languages family tree. That language family tree has so-called Black or Cushitic African roots, as well as North Central European foundations, right? Now, this is powerful again. This is why, for example, the term Africanus, very, very popular amongst our people, amongst, people have been debating if we should call ourselves Africans, and how some very wrongly and sometimes very pseudo claim that this word Africanus came from a Roman general that renamed the region of North Africa or the old continent of Africa, which is far from the truth if you do just a little bit of research, which is just kind of explained here briefly. Yeah, so the term Africanus is Latin, but the term Africanu or Kepru, Keftiu, all are African words in origin, and the U usually denotes the name of a location in some African languages. In the Latin, the us is synonymous to the U, and that's where the African and Cushitic influence is evident. So those examples mentioned previously, like Africanus being Latin, Africa is Egyptian, and the name Africa was in existence long before the name Africanus, which probably means from Africa or of Africa. And again, the statement below is kind of important because it gives us dates, or rough dates, 400 BC to 400 AD. The Romans were in North Africa, and the Greeks were in Egypt for about 323 BC to around 200 AD. So, yeah, so this is why it's vital to know and acknowledge the fact that Indo-European languages, I meant to say, also have African Cushitic roots and influence, and is why, according to sources, the word nigger or niger, depending on how you want to pronounce it or the context, is a Latin word which means black or dark. This then created the word Negro, member of a black skinned race of Africa, 1550s, from the Spanish or Portuguese Negro, black, from Latin nigrum, nominative nigger, black, dark, etc., etc. And you have nigger, 1786. These are the etymology that you can check online. 1786, the earlier nigger, 1568, Scottish and Northern England dialect, from French nègre and from Spanish negro. So here again, you have nègre, which is French, or the masculine. The feminine is négresse, which is borrowed from the Spanish negro itself, from Latin nigger, nigrum, and so on and so forth. Bear in mind that French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and those languages are Romanized languages. And finally, here you have, the offspring of all of that, which is nigger, which you hear a lot in, unfortunately, in many of our rap songs and so on and so forth. 1925, also nigger, representing Southern US pronunciation of nigger. So yeah, so again here we've got Niger, African nation named for the river Niger, mentioned by that name, 1520s, Leo Africanus. Just for clarification's sake, Leo Africanus has got nothing to do with Scipio Africanus, two different people, two different types, two different ethnicities. Leo Africanus was, of course, a Berber for Northern Africa, and who studied, I believe, in Italy, in Rome. I can't recollect his full Arabic name, but he was renamed Africanus due to the fact that his counterparts in Italy couldn't pronounce, or thought it was too long to pronounce or too hard to pronounce his full Arabic name. So they renamed him Africanus for the fact that he was a Berber and he was from Africa. So once again, Africanus, according to some sources, mean of Africa or from Africa. So Leo Africanus is basically implying Leo of Africa, or Leo from Africa. Probably alternation by influence of Latin, nigger or Niger, black. Now, this is important. Now, it says of a local Tuareg name Egeru Negaroon, if I pronounce it right. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too much. From Igeru, Big River Sea plus. It's clear right there. If I can highlight this right now, real quick. Decided to play around. So yeah. So you have Negareun, right? If I'm pronouncing it right. If not, please somebody correct me. So once again, this is important again because this is in the etymology of the word Niger. So here we see, so if these people who are indigenous to Northern Africa really, and they can be found in, in some part of West Africa as well, and so on. If they already have the base of the word nigger in their language, then again, one have to wonder, was this word nigger or Niger really indigenous to Latin or the Romans, and it's very, very interesting, but I doubt it was. Approved information itself proved, if we go all the way back, that in fact the Latin word nigger was greatly influenced by our African languages, from Hebrew to ancient Egyptian or Meduneta to the Sanskrit, which came from Canaanites, Hittite to be more exact, to the Igbo. We see that connection as well, and now with this Tuareg people of Africa. So again, just to finish it off, is a list of words with the NG roots. You got Nagasaki, which is obviously a famous city that was bombed by the US. Once again, is your coincidence, Nagasaki, and we see the same name not very far in Asia, in a Sanskrit in India and stuff like that. And again, you have the word Nagau or Nagu, is a Egyptian term for East Africa or Punt. Punt will be basically modern day Somalia, or some might prefer Somaliland or Somali. And then you have Nugar Marta, West African people. See the writing of this famous Arabic Butata journey to West Africa. Once again, look into that. It's available online. So yeah, so my conclusion with all of this is, although I do not condone and we should not condone the use of the N-word, the most notorious one, which is nigger or nigger, but we also have to remember and stop giving so much credit to colonizers and Europeans for things that they never invented or never came up with. Proven in his presentation once again that in fact the word nigger, nigger, however you want to pronounce it, are nothing but corrupted translations of our ancient African ancestors who intended this word to be divine, to represent nature, to represent righteousness, and all those type of designation. So with that being said, I'd like to say peace, love, and light to the family. Please like, share, and comment, and let me know what you think. Shalom, Islam, or Tep, Black Power, and I'm out.